talk about the music you love. I am actually today, I am just recording from home, enjoying some of this good sunshine in California. But I am delighted to have my good friend and brother, Mr. Rodney Greene,
Hey,
showed up to the party.
what's going on, Daniel?
Man, I've been trying to get you for a long time, man, because I know you've been working on a lot of stuff, and we're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna, talk about this new AI projects. So
Okay.
we're gonna dive into a lot of these things today because we know that a lot of musicians are starting to use AI,
Yeah.
and we want to talk about the pros and cons of that. But for my audience who don't know you, because we did an interview years ago, about I want to say 3 years now.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
Yeah, and you got a new single out, correct?
Yes, indeed, man.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
Well, for my
excited.
audience who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Yeah. See, I grew up in Los Angeles, down in Compton, California. I grew up there, moved to the IE when I was like a teenager,
Uh,
and um, I started playing violin.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like my first instrument. That's why
Yeah.
my first introduction to music, playing music. My dad was a musician. He was a vocalist, and
Uh,
that was like my first introduction. Living there for a while, then moved out here to the IE. Been out here for a while, but then moved across the country. Different jobs, working in the corporate world.
yeah.
Uh, Music was always sort of somewhat on the back burner as I was working in the corporate world.
Right.
You know how that goes. But eventually, I started doing more music. I think I released my first my first album back in 2003. It's called "A Nice,"
Okay.
and I think that was my first little introduction. Releasing music to the world, and played in different bands, played bass guitar. That's my primary instrument, but I dabble in little keys and
Right.
that whatever I can do to get the sound out that I'm trying to hear that's in my head, trying to get it
Right.
out.
Now,
So,
what was the first recording process, or the first audio thing that you had to record on? Was it like Tascam, or did you play with Rollins a lot, or tell us
let,
about your growth in the recording?
let me tell you, my first recording instrument was, now I'm dating myself now. Okay. My first recording instrument, what recording gear was two cassette players. Okay. Y'all don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about
Yeah.
that. And you bounce them down, you play one track and then you bounce it down. And man, by the time you got done, it was so messy, you don't know what was going on.
Right.
you know. But we thought we was doing something back in the day. But
Right.
yeah, of course, then graduated to Tascam, 16 tracks in the studio back in the day. So that was a long time ago, man. Music has come a long way since then.
Right. Right. So, how do you like the pros and cons of what we have now, as far as the music industry?
I think there's a lot of good things that's going on technology wise.
Yeah.
To get the sound in people's heads out of their heads, and out into the world.
Right.
As far as making things easier, more efficient, um, less energy consumption, those
Yeah.
kinds of things, man. Because I remember, you go through a pack of batteries, or through, you get your electric bill, and those amps, all that power, it eats up a lot of money. I need to put
Right.
the charger on. Hold on one second. I don't want to lose you.
Okay. All right,
But
man.
yeah,
Because
technology's come a long ways. It
yeah.
plays a part in music today.
Right. Right. Uh, I noticed that a lot of younger uh, people are trying to get back into the analog because they love that sound.
Yeah.
And let's just face it, our children, they grew up listening to our music, and even though the new music that's out, they enjoy it, but they
Mhm.
tend to fall back to some of the music that was made back in the 70s and 80s. Uh, what is it about that music that just sparked people's interest?
Man, it's just something about that music that just resonates with people. You know, it's timeless. Um, that that old school music. Like I did a remake of Summer Madness,
Right.
Always wanted to do, some of that old school stuff, man, and and you played on it too.
And I appreciate it, man, for giving me the call on that.
And so I love that those old school songs, man, that just resonated with me because it was just something about them, man. That just
Yeah.
you, they're just timeless. You hear every time you hear it, it just kind of brings back those memories of back in the day.
Right.
And I think it is soulful, and I think a lot of young artists today gravitate to it too because of the soulfulness about it. And it's not as what I would call like digitized. You know,
Yeah.
you know.
So let me ask you this, because I know you've been at the music thing for quite a while, and explain to my audience about the challenges and the growth in music, because a lot of people are trying to get into music
Right.
because they feel like, oh, I can just make a hit and I can live off of one hit, which is true to a certain extent. Because like you said, technology has changed. You got your Spotify. There's people who can make some good money without a record deal. But let's
Right.
talk about the challenges and the growth of doing the work.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on
Yeah.
that one doesn't even can't even imagine.
Yeah.
What goes on, and I use this analogy of I had a friend, or still have the friend, who got a record deal.
Yeah.
And as me myself, being an independent artist, having to do all the grunt work myself,
Yeah.
I come across issues from time to time, and I call him up and I say, "Hey, man, hey, how did you navigate this issue?" And he would say, "I don't know, man. My label did it for me." And I said,
Right.
"Okay, cool." So I'd have to figure out, the
Right.
issue, get a solution to it, which I did. And then, I call them up again. Hey, man, I got this issue I'm trying to navigate. Can you shed any light on it? I don't know, man. My label did it for me. And so there again, I had to go do the homework, the grunt
Right.
work, and figure it
Yeah.
out.
Right.
And so I think there's a lot of grunt work, administrative stuff, just behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, you get in the studio, you record something, it sounds good, but then on the back end of that, it's the promotion part of that, working with promoters. If you trying to get out there and promote your music,
Right.
that's a whole ball of wax right there. Promotion, you know,
Right.
uh, just so much to it.
Yeah. So just bottom line is you got to push through it, and
Yeah, you gotta push through it. You're dealing with people, and with I
yeah.
don't care with any organization or any type of business. You're dealing with people, and from time to
Yeah.
time, people that are not on the same, don't share the same vision as you.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know.
Right.
But it's
So
always good. Most times you find people in the industry, they're willing to help out, and at least the people that are in my circle,
okay.
are willing to help.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's kind of deal with rejection, because uh, uh, I know both of us been in this business for a while, and some
Right.
people hear your stuff and say, "Okay, cool," and then some people just like, you know, don't call me. But then
Right.
there are tons of people. What is it about when we get rejected by one, but yet 100 people? I'm just throwing out a number. Love what we do. Why,
Right.
why do we feel so despondent?
Yeah, I know. It's because we're human beings, man. We have emotions,
Yeah.
and you know, just as being a human being, when people don't like you, that doesn't feel good. As a
Right.
human being. And then you have people who like you, and that feels good when people say they like you. It makes us feel good. So just from a humanistic standpoint, I think that rejection play is magnified because of the fact that you're not just talking with one person, you're talking with the whole population of people who
Right.
may say, hey, I don't like your music, or I don't like you,
Yeah.
or whatever. And that's even harder. It's not just one person, it's a group of people.
Yeah.
But to learn, you have to look within yourself and say, hey, why am I doing this? You know, and recognize the fact that no matter what you do in life, there are going to people who like what you do, and there's going to people who don't like what you do. But you can't focus on the people who don't like what you do. I mean,
Yeah.
you should take that information use it for analysis and trying to figure out what was it about it that they didn't like? Is there anything that you can do to change it? Are they asking you to change your artistic um, vision, or is it just because they'd rather have heard somebody sing this way or something, or this played that way?
Mm,
There's always going to be a preference, and so you just sit
right.
there from time to time to deal with it and to say, hey, I'm creating music, basically for myself. And if other people like it, that's icing on the cake.
Man, you know what? I think about that quote that Miles Davis said, and I say it all the time on my show, and it sticks with me because he said that the question was asking him, if no one liked what you were doing, would you still do it? And his answer was, of course, because that makes him feel good. So you can, if it makes you feel good, hopefully that it resonates to different people. The expression of music that you're presenting,
Right.
and like you said, everybody's not gonna like it. I mean, you might have 100,000 people that love it,
Mhm.
and 5 people, like you said, sometimes we just concentrate on that. We have to overlook that. So that's how you push through with it, huh, Rodney?
Hey, man, that's the only way to do it. That's the only way to, you know. And like I
Yeah,
said, those who don't like it, again, try to figure out what it is that they don't like about it. For example, we're talking genres. Some people might say, well, I don't really particularly care for smooth jazz, you
right.
know, or you got somebody in R&B or smooth jazz, I particularly care about R&B. I like smooth jazz. I mean, so it's one of those preference sort of things that you just got to kind of look at and somebody say, "Hey, I like orange, and somebody else likes blue."
Right, right, yeah. Speaking of that, man, let's just slide into the new single that you just released, man.
Yeah,
I got
man.
I got a chance to listen to it. It's a dynamite track, man. It's a
Thank you, man.
dynamite track.
Thank you.
Uh, Tell us the process of what you did to make that song.
Right. So, pretty much most of last year, 2025, man, I took a hiatus, man. I wasn't like on
Oh,
social media platforms.
wow.
Uh, I was just laying low because, well, for one, I was um, coming off of some my last album, Real Close,
Yeah.
and we were talking before. That was a lot of work, trying to wrap that up. So wrap that up, and then decided I was going to take some time off. Spend it with family, spend more time with family, and just kind of do some reflection.
Yeah.
I write some more music. So I just kind of took last year off and kind of as a reflection, regenerate my thoughts, and so I came up with a few songs that I'm working on now for my next album.
Okay.
um, Wind It Up is one of the first songs that I completed off the album. Working on some others and working with some on some collaboration too, with some other artists. So I'm hoping that that can get completed and get released sometime in August. But Wind It Up, man. Um, I just something kind of like um, kind of funky, upbeat, up
Yeah.
tempo. Um, and I wasn't sure at first what I was going to do as far as the lead.
Right.
And you have a lot of songs that you write that are like sitting on the shelf, and
Yeah.
so that was kind of one of them. And I happened to be I went to a Neil show, Steve
Uh,
Neil's play, and he performed that night. And he and I were just chatting at the bar, and him and another artist, Costello, was there. We were just chatting about the industry and how and Neil well, he wasn't really complaining. He was really just kind of making a um, reflecting on the situation of the music industry, of his recognition out there, and so we just started chatting about collaborations. We were talking about doing collaborations,
yeah.
and I told him I had this track. I said, it sounds very similar to his style. He said, yeah, well, send it to me. So I sent him the track, and he fell in love with it.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean,
That's very
it
cool.
was a 1-2 punch sort of thing. The track which was already pretty much written, and then um, I thought about him. That's one of the reasons why I gave him that track, was because it was like right up his alley, you know.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That is so cool, man. And I know it's been out for a couple of weeks now. Uh, and can you give us the links and things of that nature that we can find it personally that you can kind of respond to?
Yeah. So it's it's released right now on all music platforms. It goes to radio June 15th. So next week it goes to radio. So we're hoping it does well. Website is greenstreetrecords.com.
Yeah.
You can there. Um, or you can hit me up at emergingminds37 gmail.com. Hit me up there. And of
Okay.
course, any Facebook and Instagram, all of those places. You can look for Green Streets on
All right.
Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. And look, I'm gonna let you go, but a couple of questions I wanted to just end with because a lot of people are trying to look for live gigs and things of that nature.
Yes.
As far as performing live, how do you feel about that? As far as getting to interact with the people, because I know a lot of people are really putting out records and things of that nature, but to interact with people, how do you feel about that part of the music business? Talk
Yeah,
to us
man.
about that and
I would
why it's
love,
important.
definitely would love to do more live playing, man. But like we were talking before, of course, there's the business side of that too.
Right.
One thing where you're, um, one of the musicians in the group, but when you're the one trying to set it all up,
Yeah.
and you run the show, there's that's what we were talking about. Some of the things that in the music business that it
Right.
can be rough,
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'd love to get out there and play live. I mean, I think we played live before. We did a
Right.
shows together. I'd like to get back out there, man, and start doing some more
Yeah.
shows.
Right. And talk about the interaction, though. What I mean by that is just the interaction,
Oh yeah,
because
just the interaction with the crowd, man. You see the reaction on their face.
yeah.
It's one thing to have some music out there that's released, and you can see the strings, but you can't see the expression on the people's faces. You can't see that head
Right.
bobbing back.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
you can't see that. You want to see them out there. And so there's always a joy in that aspect too, man. I'd love to do more of that.
Man, I appreciate you so much. Uh, Leave a little advice for people who are coming up and people who might be struggling in this business. Give us some advice.
Yeah, the most or the best advice I can give you is just stay persistent, stay constant, stay true to yourself. Just do you. Don't try to get out there and do what everybody else does. Just do what you do. And stay persistent at it. And we talked earlier about those who say, "That ain't for me." And
Yeah.
somebody say, "I love that."
Right. Right.
That you got to be thick skinned about it and just say, hey, I enjoy it, and that's why I'm doing it. And if other people like it, I love it.
Man, I appreciate you so much, Rodney. Oh, I did tell my audience that we're going to talk a little bit about the AI. Give me some pros and cons about that real quick.
Yeah, pros and cons. I think you're seeing it like pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear it like released music, with AI. I don't know. I'm kind of like on the fence about it right now. AI, man, it's taking over just just about every aspect of our life. And at some
Right.
point in time, we're going to have to learn how to deal with it, to use it, as an advantage, to be more efficient, and things of that nature. Use it, to be more efficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're both on the fence on this thing. Now, I don't know if it's because of our age, but I just feel sometimes the creativity that's in you, you express it, and if AI helps to curtail it to make it a little bit better or help you with more suggestions, I'm cool with that. But I'm still on the fence with it too. So, but I appreciate you
Yeah.
so much, brother Rodney. I
You as
really
well,
do,
man.
man.
Thank you.
man.
Thank you.
And congratulations again on your new single, man. And then everybody give that email out or the links and stuff again one more
That's
time.
greenstreetrecords.com. And of course, you can hit me up on Green Streets on Instagram, Facebook, all of them. Hit me up.
All right. I
Stream,
appreciate you.
stream, buy, save,
That's right.
follow,
Yeah.
follow.
Do all of it.
Do
I
all of it.
appreciate you guys so much. This is Daniel A. Nelson playing to talk about the music you love. You guys be blessed. We love you. Peace and soul.
Love you guys. Out.